你幾時先得閒啊？我幾時都得閒啊，咁即係幾時啊？幾時都得咯。The word when in English can be used as a question word as well as a conjunctive word to connect two sentences together, like I'll go home when I finish work. In Cantonese, there are similarities and differences of how we use this word when, and we're going to explore it together.
When as a question word.
幾時 means when. 幾時, and we usually add our final particle to make it sound more natural, like this.
幾時啊? It can mean either when was it or when will it be, depending on the context.
For example, if your sister just came back from overseas without you knowing it, and you want to know when she went overseas, you can ask 幾時啊? 我啱啱去完日本啊，幾時啊? Or if your sister told you that she is going overseas and you want to know when she's flying, you can also ask 幾時啊? 我遲啲去日本啊，幾時啊?
To ask when are you free, the question will look like this. 你幾時得閒啊? The literal translation is you when free?
If you're planning to catch up with your friend and you want to consult your friend, you can ask
你想幾時啊? The literal translation is you want when. The final particle indicates a request.
If you're free next week, you can simply say
不如下個星期啊？
你幾時得閒啊？不如出嚟食餐飯啊？好啊，你想幾時啊？不如下個星期啊？
I've got a video on this topic about time nights.
If you're interested, you can check it out later, and you can find the link in the description below. By changing different particles and final particles can change the meaning of a question. Let's go through some examples together.
你幾時走啊? With the final particle it sounds like a natural plain statement. 你幾時先走得㗎? With the particle 先 and the final particle 㗎, it indicates the urge of finding out the answer. Perhaps you have been waiting for a long time, or you are in a hurry. 佢哋幾時走咗㗎? The final particle 㗎 makes an emphasis here. This sentence shows that the speaker is surprised. The people have left without the speaker knowing it.
If you want to be more specific with the time, you can ask 幾點, which means what time.
你幾點走啊? The literal translation is you what time leave. When as an adverb in Cantonese.
Unlike English, the word 幾時 can be used as an adverb to refer to any time. For example, if someone asks you when you're free and you're flexible, there were a few ways to respond using 幾時. Let's look at the following examples.
The basic answer will be 幾時都得. The literal translation is anytime also okay. To make it sound more natural, we can add a final particle 幾時都得啊.
Or if you want to emphasize that they can make the decision, you can add the final particle 啦 instead.
The final particle 啦 indicates a suggestion. 幾時都得啦.
Or if you want that person to know that they can make a call, you can say
你想幾時就幾時啦. The literal translation is you want when, then when. When as a conjunctive word.
As mentioned earlier, the word when can also be used as a conjunctive word in English. But in Cantonese, instead of using 幾時, we use different phrases to indicate this conjunctive word. Let's go through the following examples.
嗰陣時. The Chinese character 時 is usually in its fourth tone, but sometimes it can be in its second tone in spoken form.
嗰陣時.
These three phrases are interchangeable.
Let me give you an example of how we use one of them in a sentence.
人哋講嘢嗰陣時要專心啲啊. You can also add 喺 at the beginning. 喺人哋講嘢嗰陣時要專心啲啊.
Besides, we can also use the following phrase.
嘅時候.
嘅時候.
我開心嘅時候 最想就係食嘢啦。You can also add 喺 at the beginning。喺我開心嘅時候，最想就係食嘢啦。Or you can put the pronoun 我 at the front。我喺唔開心嘅時候，最想就係食嘢啦。The final particle 啦 indicates a change of state.
Sometimes we don't even use any of them.
Instead, we will just say 就 which means then.
就
For example, I'll go home when I finish work. In Cantonese, we'll say 我做完嘢就會返屋企㗎啦。The literal translation is I finish work, then go home.
Let's quickly recap what we have learned so far.
In Cantonese, the word 幾時 can be used as a question word and an adverb. Instead of using 幾時 as a conjunctive word, we use other words like 嗰陣時、嘅時候 and 就。
Now, let's have a quick test.
Would you say 我幾時都得閒啊 or 我嗰時都得閒啊 Would you say 我攰嗰陣會去瞓㗎啦 or 我攰幾時會去瞓㗎啦
Do you know how to ask what time is it now in Cantonese? You may find this video useful.